Welcome to Grilling with the General.
All right, today we're gonna make some cowboy candy, which is essentially a shit ton of jalapenos that we're going to slice up. We're going to create a little syrup out of this, and then you put it all together. Very simple ingredients. We got our celery seed, garlic powder, turmeric, sugar, apple cider vinegar. Pretty simple. The hardest part of this recipe is when you're done, you should at least wait a week. 2 weeks is ideal. They usually don't last that long. I like cutting them up and also putting them in multiple jars. Like give them out to a couple of my friends. So yeah, let's make some cowboy candy. All right, first thing we're gonna do, slice these bad boys up. I'm gonna use the mandolin just because it's gonna be a lot quicker. I thought about maybe using the food processor, which I haven't completely given up on the idea yet. But I am not taking the seeds out of these. I am just throwing them through the mandolin, getting us some little coins. Pretty decent thickness. Can already smell it in the house. All right. And this is roughly 30, 40 jalapenos. So there's going to be a lot, which is perfectly fine. I was expecting there to be a lot. I want there to be a lot. And then we got, once we get these all sliced up into little coins, I will get our syrup started. Probably need a bowl for this. Let's get ourselves a bowl. Smells good in here. So I've already nicked this glove quite a few times. Before these gloves, I would have blood everywhere. And it took me a while to finally realize that these gloves are very important. So now I don't do anything on the mandolin without wearing them. Oof. All right, let's come back when we're done with the rest of these. All right. And by the magic of video and editing, here we are, last pepper. That is what 42, I think. 42, I think, is the final count. That's what 42 coin-sized pieces of jalapeno look like. And they're good. They're spicy. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, so let's get set up. We'll get this circle. All right, so let's get our syrup ready. We'll get the heat on. I'm going to use a wooden spoon. All right, we have 2 cups apple cider vinegar, 6 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1 teaspoon of celery seed. This mixing. Turn the heat down just a little bit. We're going to keep this going until it starts bubbling. All right, so right at about 7 minutes. Yep, 7 minutes right now. We're at medium-high heat. We want to keep this going till it starts to boil. I have the extra large, deep pot because once this stuff goes, it is very sticky. Once it starts going, you don't want it boiling over on your stove because this stuff is a bitch to clean up. Take my word for it. All right. So we got a nice rapid boil, as you can see. Now the fun part, adding the jalapenos. Just dump them in. Oh, it's a lot. All right, let's get these stirred up. So obviously it's going to bring down that boil from the cold jalapenos. They weren't really cold. They were kind of room temperature, but you know what I'm saying. And now we're going to cook these for about 5-10 minutes tops. And then we'll get to the next phase. All right, so we're right at about 8 minutes. You can see that some of them are starting to turn a little bit darker. And some other are still really fresh ones, but this is okay. So now it's time to scoop these into jars and move to the next step. All right, so these have been on there. It's still very hot. But now it's time to put these into jars. I got a whole bunch. I got our big one, medium one, and a bunch of little ones to see if people like it. This one is always for me. So first, I'm just gonna they don't need to be completely removed of the liquid, but you want to try to get a good bit out. And again, these are extremely sticky. And I actually feel like I might have cooked these a bit long. I usually like them a little bit crispier. They seem like they're not so crispy. There are some, but live and learn. This is my second batch, and the first batch I did not go 7 minutes. I kind of feel like I thought I took them off too early, but they ended up turning out really good. So maybe I should have stuck with what I had. Oof, you can see that juice getting everywhere, that syrup. That's gonna not be fun. All right, we don't want to fill it up all the way. Over there. Let's get our next one. Fogging up me old glasses. And I think that's gonna do it for this one. don't want to fill them too much. And so we got our little babies. These are ball half-pint jars. And, and I ran them to the dishwasher on a sanitized cycle with the lids. I don't know if there's another way. I don't do canning. I will vacuum seal these. I probably should have done some research to find out if vacuum sealing is equivalent to sealing when you're canning. Like I know people like, what is it called? They put it in a hot water bath or something. I'm not up to speed on canning. I'm not going to pretend that I know what canning is, but probably should have done some research. But I will vacuum seal these after they're filled. Because right now we're going to keep going until all of the jalapenos are out of here. The syrup needs to cook for just a little bit longer. And then we put the syrup in the jars. All right. And that's going to be the last of the jalapenos. All right, so these are all filled. This is all done. I'm going to put this back on and cook for maybe another 5 to 10 minutes, just like a simmer, to kind of thicken it back up. And then we'll fill the jars. Let's do it. All right, so our syrup, we simmered for another 10 minutes. And I turned it off completely to let it cool down for another 10 minutes. But now it's time to fill the jars. So I'm obviously going to start with the big one. It's definitely much easier, I find, to dump it in something that's going to pour a little better because this is not very easily controlled. Still a little bit in there. And now we're just going to top them off. At least to the point where it's covering the peppers. So right there is good. There's good. Good. Oh, a little overboard there. So we have a little bit left here. We still have a bit in here. Oof. We got a lot left. Wow. Which is perfectly fine by me because I can make other fun shit with it. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit more to each of these since we do have it. Not too much because we still have to vacuum seal it. All right, so that's about 3 cups of our syrup. So I could use that to like make as a glaze for chicken wings. We can marinade pork chops. Ooh, that might be good on a whole chicken, like basting a whole chicken. So a lot of things we can do with that. It's not going to go to waste. I'm going to put that away. And we will, I don't know why I'm covering the lids all on these because I still have to vacuum seal it. But yeah, so there's our cowboy candy. All in jars. We have a bunch left over to play with for other fun stuff. So I guess I'm gonna have to make another video to find out what I can do with this. So let me clean this up. Let's get our vacuum sealer out. We'll get this vacuum sealed and we'll call it a wrap. All right, so we have our syrup that I'm going to set aside. And we have our Abbott Armor vacuum sealer. We're going to vacuum seal these. I hope I didn't fill too much. So we're going to put that over top. And we hit accessory. The bigger one for the bigger one. Oof, as I expected. All right. I definitely put too much. So again, this stuff is very sticky. So it's not fun cleaning up. So I think what I'm going to do is, obviously I have to rinse this, but I have to take some more of that juice out of there, that syrup. I definitely do not want to have to go through that ordeal every single time. So I think I should probably take some more off of these. The bottom part. Yeah, you can see it just a little bit below. I feel like these two should be good. I guess we'll find out. All right, so let's try this again. We're gonna put our cap on, plug that in, and hit accessory. Bounce. Oh, wow. Doesn't seem like a lot. Okay, pop. Take this off. Oh, still a lot in there. It's taking all my juice out. Maybe that's why people do the canning thing method, I'm guessing. Oh, boy, this is not working out how I wanted. All right, so I pretty much said to hell with it. And I'm just going to have to clean up a lot of stuff because like I dumped out pretty much half of the goodies in there and I don't want to do that. I want to leave that syrup. No, that one was perfect. Is it just the little jars? Maybe I, okay. All right, well that's sealing. I'm gonna go rinse these. Oof, now that one is a little bit different. Maybe I took, I don't know. Oh well, we're not gonna figure it out today. But clearly vacuum sealing is not the way to go for these. And I'm going to have to learn how to can. Yeah, I'm going to have to learn how to do some canning. All right, so these have all been rinsed. Let's get this sticky thing out of the way. So after all is said and done, we had 3 cups left over, and after taking off a whole bunch of all those, we're at 3 3/4. So that's a lot of good juice to play around with, at least. That's about it for Cowboy Candy. So now again, the hardest part is leaving these alone at least a week. You want to do at least a week. If you can do 3, that would be awesome. The good thing is I've made multiple of these jars, so This one is slated for someone. These three are slated for somebody, so I'll probably pop this one after a week and then let this one go for 2.5 to 3. All you got to do now is pop them in the refrigerator. They will settle, like some of that syrup will settle, and the seasonings that are in there will settle down. So every few days, I'll look in the refrigerator and just give them a little shake. All right, so that's it. Thanks for joining me tonight, making some cowboy candy, and hope to see you again. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, hit that little bell if you want to know more, and the best thing would be to subscribe. So yeah, see you soon. Thanks for grilling with the General.